Yesterday was fun. We did a
Do you
little
see
road
this
trip.
here?
Nope.
Oh, it's there. Because Wednesday used to be beach day.
It's no beach day. I don't think it's a beach day today. It's a galoshes and raincoat splashing in puddles kind of day.
I know, we might do that.
And then come inside for a warm cocoa with the children.
Yeah.
Not our children.
I know, not our children.
The other people's children.
Yes, road trip yesterday.
The little children. Road trip, and we got to share, and you shared, and me shared, and we shared to a rehab center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. Fun.
Yeah.
It was like the first time talking to a real audience.
In a long time, yeah.
It feels
weird.
like in a long time. That's what I said afterwards. I felt like
ago.
that was a lot more... Was it more interesting? More... It just felt like there was...
Of course.
Of course.
Speaking to an audience on camera is not going to have the same feel as speaking to live people.
You're on camera right now and probably offending people, and they're probably like...
No, I'm just saying as a speaker, you
there's not a back and forth.
would experience a loss of connection.
And there was how many people there?
And
30?
we haven't figured out how to be skilled enough
30
to
participants?
Yeah,
And
30.
we gave them all kombucha?
We could talk to these people if we could figure out how to do that without
Okay, get off your phone.
just staring at our phones.
Stop
the whole
scrolling
time.
Facebook.
Wait.
No, you can. Totally.
There it is. But
You
then
can-
my sound might be on. There, it's off. I
There,
turned it
and
off.
now you can talk to people.
And no one's there. But that's okay.
No, there's people there.
Hi, two
We're
people.
there. We're there. They're there. We're all there. Yeah, so that was fun, and then we took a little road trip to Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
We took a little Kingston road trip and went to eat at like the gastropub. I feel people overuse gastropub because I have an expectation, and
That there's going to be a chef in the back.
it always fails. And so it was, I would say below par, below average. But our
Sorry about
Kingston
that.
friends didn't holler back, and I feel like they let us down. So I had schnitzel that was literally bigger than my back. It came out on a tray. I'm like, and it wasn't deep fried; it was oven baked. So it's like it's not schnitzel; it's like something different. And then you had a steak, which was primarily gristle and fat.
Yes.
And it was just. I'm gonna let it go though.
They assume that healthy people, or that they assume that people who don't want to eat gluten want to eat healthy.
They assume
Vegetarian curry or salad were my options.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I get it. For you, yeah.
So I had a steak.
Yeah, not the lobster pasta.
No.
I'm glad I didn't get that because I probably would have been angry. I hate.
Yeah.
I think the worst feeling.
No,
the
Don't
two
say
worst
this.
feelings I have, and I think it's I don't know what it is. Injustice is getting left behind.
Oh, I know.
No, it
That's-
makes me angry.
I know that's actually.
I got left
I know
behind
it's really
once
hard for you.
in an adult fishing party.
Yes, you
And
did.
it was abandoned, but I wasn't angry. I was more scared. And then,
Actually,
but I don't like being left behind.
because you were trapped on an island
I was.
alone.
And then the drunk woman came.
Okay.
I was ready to swim.
And
back
your
to
second,
shore.
yes.
And then the second is restaurant food that sucks.
That those are like in the world of injustice.
In
Those
my world.
okay in
Yeah.
your privileged life.
Whoa.
Those are your.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's
But I think
that's
they're deep rooted.
those
in
are
some
the
sort
that's
of,
the legitimate description of privilege.
I think if you go down into those roots, I think there are some pretty
Yeah.
serious
No, I
injustices.
get it. I do.
I think so.
Yeah, I do.
Well, now I feel silly
Don't feel silly. That is your.
because I woke
those
up
are your-
feeling offended today.
Those are
at
your
that.
first world
Like,
problems.
Don't call yourself a gastropub. Like, just call yourself like fine dining pub food.
I think
pub
it's
fare.
good for us to acknowledge our privilege now and then.
And it's true. You're setting people off right now, but that's okay.
No, I'm not. They get it. They totally know.
It's just keywords, right? What's the date today? I just want to get this going.
Today's the September 9th.
Wearing
You don't
black.
want to talk about your privilege anymore?
No, I understand that. Yes, I do. I feel very privileged. I feel very privileged in a
We
world
are.
that,
We are.
yeah, blessed and highly
And
favored.
thankful and grateful and didn't say anything at the restaurant, and we ate our food and were really kind and generous to our server and had a good time and came home.
What was
Because I think the attitude is really important, right? Like,
yeah.
You can't-
It's just
I think
I saw their I saw their level when it came out, and I was like, "There's no point in complaining. This is it. This is." Anyway, I want. There, it's gone.
Okay.
It's
It's
over.
gone now?
That's gone.
You released that
It's like when
resentment.
you get a bad cup of coffee, you're like, come on, it's a restaurant. Get a good, like. Anyway, what's the date today?
9.
Oh, you keep saying that.
Because you keep asking.
Um,
But I had a really fun road trip. Thank you for inviting me.
and I'm glad you got to participate.
Thank you
and
for
share your
pushing through my
codependency experience with people in a rehab center.
It's very strange to be in a room. Okay, so we were sitting in a room. There's 30 people in recovery. Like, they're addicts. They've paid a lot of money to go to treatment. And I'm talking about codependency. And I'm talking about my experience of what's been happening to me lately. And faces are lighting up.
So
I couldn't figure
we
out.
left there, and everybody was an addict or alcoholic as they came into the room, and that now they're all codependent as well. But we did that too. Our friend does OA, overeaters, and we went to the celebration, and then we were all like, I think we're all overeaters as well. But I think so much applies to so many things. Yes,
Because it comes down to the fact that I have a spiritual sickness that needs a solution.
Yeah.
Read your story.
Read my story.
You gonna put your glasses on?
Maybe. Now that you mention it. Look, Buddy teeth marks.
Oh.
Buddy teeth. I heard crunching one morning. All right, perspective. Too often, we try to gain a clear perspective before it's time. This will make us crazy or cray-cray. We do not always know why things are happening the way they are. We do not always know how a particular relationship will work out. We do not always understand the source of our feelings, why we've been led down a particular path, what is being worked out in us, what we are learning, why we need to recycle, why we had to wait, why we need to go through a time of discipline, or why a door closed. How our present circumstances will work into the larger scheme of events is not always clear to us. That is how it needs to be. Perspective will come in retrospect. We could strain for hours today for the meaning of something that may come in an instant next year. Let it go. Stop obsessing. Stop trying to figure it all out. We can let go of our need to figure things out, to feel in control. Now is the time to be, to feel, to go through it, to allow things to happen, to learn, to let whatever is being worked out in us take its course. In hindsight, we will know, it will become clear, for today being is enough. We have been told that all things shall work out for good in our lives. Amen. We can trust that to happen, even if we cannot see the place today's events will hold in the larger picture. Prayer for today. Today, I will let things happen without trying to figure everything out. If clarity is not available to me today, I will trust it will come later in retrospect. I will put simple trust in the truth that all is well. Events are unfolding as they should, and all will work out for good in my life. Better than I can imagine.
Amen.
Amen. Perspective.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think I think part of denial is trying to figure it all out, intellectualizing. And so then we can get caught in obsession.
Yes.
And our obsessive minds go over and over and over and over and try to figure it all out and work it all out.
Yes.
And this is way smarter than any of us. And so part of...
I think God is way smarter than any of us.
Oh, he's way...
I felt like this was talking about, like, God and, like, how...
Yes, but I'm just saying we try to figure it all out.
Oh, right.
And we get stuck in, like, well, if we're here... and this happened, and so why would that happen? How does this part equal the rest of my life? And
and then constantly
we try to see down the road.
If we're going backwards, trying to figure out why things happened or how they happened or when they happened, and constantly trying to reanalyze and pick everything apart, or if we're going in the future, then we're not in the present.
Fear and resentment. God is in the present with us, and we like to try to figure it out as, I guess, a source of control. But then our obsessive thinking that we need a break from. And that's what we need a break from, is our obsessive thinking.
I need a break from my obsessive thinking. Although I feel like I have gotten a break in the last couple months.
Relief.
I have relief, yes. So from, when did we start our step group? Like 3 months ago? we have a little step group, and I've been working the steps and listening to a workshop and
transcribing the
Yeah.
big book into your own language.
Reading the
of
big book
codependency is really
and
cool.
really like picking apart the big book, like people who've studied the big book for like 10 years put together this manual. So I've been going through that, and I am just like amazed at what's in it and how applicable. And so yeah, I feel like
I'm getting so much more out of the big book this time, having you transcribe it into your own language of what are the words that you use? Adrenaline.
a thinking
Instead of drinking.
Or often I use gossip. Like I could offer him, if it says in the big book, like I could offer him a drink, then I'll say like I could offer him a bit of gossip. I'll use chaos creating, controlling, fixing. Sometimes I use self-sabotage. Sometimes I use adrenaline. Like those are all the words.
So you're reading me the big book, and I'm going through the workshop with Rachel.
Yeah.
And I'm getting way more out of it than I ever have. It's just a whole different perspective.
It really is. Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, it says these are the stories of men and women that have recovered.
Yep.
And so we recover from the obsession of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the process of death of self.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't need to figure it all out. We don't have to see God's roadmap. We don't have to...
So things happen now. Like yesterday when we were sharing at the rehab, I was like, man, I wish I had my big book on me. Like there's this line, I want to read them. Like, because I don't have things memorized right now. Or like right now, I feel like, I was like, oh, I wish I could show you this, like read you this line right here. And so I feel like that, because it really is, it's a manual that offers hope. You know, there's 2 doctors in it that were doctors back in, what would the years be? 1940?
30s.
In the 30s. And so 2 doctors who were well known. One of them had seen like over 50,000 alcoholics at an institution where alcoholics were being locked up. The other one was another doctor. He was a world renowned psychiatrist, Carl Jung. And so they all were looking at alcoholics and saying, you actually have a hopeless condition. We can't help you. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And the only hope is a spiritual experience.
And they began to say, you need a spiritual experience. Because you have a spiritual sickness.
Because you can treat an abnormal reaction to peanuts. You just don't eat it. You can treat a mental obsession. You can do therapies and different kind of medication.
Right.
And then the spiritual sickness, you can treat that as well.
Right.
You can go to Bible studies and you can go to conferences and all that stuff. But put that all together, the only way to treat that is a total destruction of self and a new life in God. And that's what he promises us, is death of self. Pick up your cross and follow me. That's the experience that he offers. And so many times we're in the future trying to figure it out and why this doesn't line up. And we're in the past resentful at some restaurant and all this
God
stuff.
is there all the time saying, I got this.
Just stay here. Stay here in the present. In the middle of the circle.
I got you.
Stop trying to figure your life out. You got a higher purpose, passing on the message, making disciples, feeding the poor. All right.
Bye. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Do you say lately, feel free to reach out?
Feel free to reach out.